Hey everybody, welcome to ProducerHax, a Gamedev podcast where the hosts have no idea who they are and apparently got the cameras switched wrong.
Didn't even notice.
I didn't even notice either. I was like, I like the color blue. Blue's below me.
What's happening? I was like, yeah, wait, it feels like I did organize everything backwards.
Yep.
But this actually technically works better now because of the way the cameras are
And you know what
set
we're
up.
not doing? We're not changing it.
Yeah,
No,
probably not.
we're not.
I might just like
You'll just have to live with it.
I'll get Twaz to like flip it or something.
I don't even think you have to. You just have to like, can't you just Photoshop that one and just...
Oh yeah, I'll just cut it.
Or go this way?
Cut it out. Twaz
Well, no,
loves it.
even like...
Twaz loves when I mess
Yeah,
with
the
his
cameras are
designs.
weird because I reach off the screen and then I come into the screen.
Oh, it's like seriously
Everything's
like,
swapped.
like Atari 2600 shit
This is
going
so
on here.
confusing. So we're just going to own this and go with it for this episode.
We got this, folks.
But this is why it's season 2, episode 1.
Or should we just do this where I just like swap them
Yeah,
right
just
now?
drag us.
There you go. You ready for this?
But we're just going to be looking...
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm all over you. What you gonna do about it, buddy?
I don't want it. Can you even grab me now?
I don't think...
Oh.
Well, HR says
You got to
I'm not
flip
supposed
me now.
I don't know. Fuck.
Do we have to?
No.
Not really.
We'll own this. We'll look the wrong way.
It just feels like I'm floating in the void and you have
Aren't
a lot
you?
of stuff going on.
Aren't you doing that?
I got nothing going on. Okay.
In the void?
So yeah, season 2.
Sorry. Oh, is there a cat down here?
No, there's a little kid.
Oh, hey, kiddo.
Hi. Air high five? No. Oh.
She heard Blar was in the house and she had to come by and say hi. All right. It's a rocking and rolling start.
It's a start, that's for sure.
That's it early. Oh my god, she's up at 10 p.m. I'm not
I hope
sleeping.
it wasn't
I'm
us
not
being...
sleeping. No, I'm
it
not
wasn't us
sleeping
being told.
tonight. It's not happening.
Okay. I'm floating in the void, exactly, and Billy's got actual stuff.
Okay, so who are you now?
I actually need a new yellow mug because the other one got left at that place.
Oh, that place, yeah,
Anyways,
sure.
season 2, episode 1, we took about a month and a half off because we got really busy at work and personal life. But so we're just gonna say this is season 2, even though it doesn't mean
totally happened like 30
it doesn't
seconds ago.
mean anything.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So
what's your name? What's your name?
My name's Blair.
What do you do?
I'm also called TheFiddzz.
Okay.
I'm a producer at Bioware.
Okay.
See, I've already butchered that. This is still
Yeah.
the intro.
I think so. I've lost all.
I was supposed to give the date. It's Monday, October 17th.
Yep.
Who are you?
Nailed it. I'm Billy.
Yeah.
I'm also
What's your other name?
producer dude at Bioware. I'm the alien.
Yeah. The Alien or just
No,
Alien?
I'm just alien. I can't use the.
I took it. It's me. I'm a The Band.
I can't do it.
My whole life I've just wanted to be in a The Band.
Yeah.
The.
Gotcha. I hear you.
All
right.
I got nothing. Now I'm just out. I feel like we need like music in the background because I'm
I
out
know.
of
I
things
was
to
gonna
talk
just
about.
start up like some like Rocky like a
Put
hurricane
that
or
Mass Effect stuff back on.
Yeah, we could do that. That was Tron. Also, there's a toilet now.
Nobody can hear any of that stuff. Just like Mr. Furnace. Nobody heard that.
Mr. Furnace is out.
Okay, so one good thing about it is, so I haven't streamed in a long time, and it's really nice to see all of your names in the
man.
chat. I've missed you all. I'm coming back pretty hardcore.
Soon.
Maybe next week. It depends if everything arrives
Yeah.
from Amazon Prime.
Damn, yeah, man.
So new audio interface. I got the computer set up right beside the drum set.
You
It's
gotta
the
show
real.
me this audio interface because
It's
I'm
a-
not.
no,
I'm not
it's-
digging this thing.
It's not that kind of audio interface.
That one is just.
It's a pure. It's like a studio audio interface.
Damn,
Yeah.
son, damn.
Eight mics, 16 inputs, 8 outputs. The real deal. The real deal.
Wow, man.
So I got that set up against the drum set and for recording, but we'll do a lot more drum streams because at this point in the project as well, I'm not playing a lot of games other than like 30 minutes of Overwatch a night because at this point in the project, here's a producer thing for ProducerHax. Maybe we'll talk about this. So Billy, when you're making a game, how much do you play other people's games as a producer versus playing your own?
No comment.
I don't understand how that's no comment.
I'm playing a lot, man, but I'm playing. I'm not sleeping anymore.
You have to get your gaming in?
I'm trying to get my gaming in. I'm playing very specific titles for very specific reasons right now.
Right.
But I'm playing a shit ton. And I checked it. I did the US conversion I'm still doing a shit ton of in Canadian dollars.
Oh, yep.
Of playtime.
It's almost more.
MEA, yeah.
It's like more of a shit ton.
Yeah,
in
I think
Canadian.
it's like double shit ton, kind of. It worked out.
It's at least 4 shit tons worth for an American
quad.
shit ton.
I feel like it's at least a quad now.
We're gonna make gaming great again.
I think we will. I'm gonna get one of those.
I just got back
hats.
from Arkansas.
Oh damn.
So I'm just saying it's gonna be great again. We're gonna make it great again.
Oh shit.
So they're pretty right wing over there. Well, I don't think anybody is anymore.
Yeah.
After that whole thing. Anyways, enough politics.
Things give you a background. Apparently, they're going to be sponsored by Retron 5, a console that's not really a console. Is that there?
It's
kind of cool.
That's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
that's too close. No, when you're at the early stages of making the game, pre-production, early production, you'll play as a producer. I think a lot of different titles to see what's trending. See what's hip, see what things are working for other games and what things aren't working, so you can make course corrections if you're making a similar design or you want to stay away from that kind of stuff. Whereas when you get to the end of the project, end of production and into filing, it's all you do is play your own game, and you don't really have time to play other stuff because you really need to focus on what makes your game unique and what makes it special, and focusing on the things that are differentiators for you and ensuring the gameplay is really good and the story makes sense. And so if I'm playing our game and then I'm also playing like Black Flag or something like that, I don't want that to cloud my judgment when I'm making calls on bugs and stuff for the project. So
yeah, I get to that point.
There's a changeover for sure.
And I saw Mike Gamble tweeted this actually about a month or so ago, where he said that was already the turnover point for him, right? Given the stuff that he's responsible for on the project, that made a lot of good sense for me. Given what I'm responsible for, there's groups hit it at different places. There's certain things I hold on to the bitter end, and then, but then I do a very hard flip where I'm spending scary numbers of hours in the build, and I'm already starting to do that. Like on Tuesday, Wednesday, where we were in Austin, I played the build from about 10:30 in the morning till about 10:30 at night, almost nonstop, both nights.
It's too much. It's too much.
And it was good though, because it was like when you put it through that kind of grind, you find
the things that really don't work.
This is where it falls apart, right? Like at X amount of hours in, certain things start to become a problem.
See, the things we do for you guys, we have to sit there and play Mass Effect Andromeda for 12 hours.
Damn.
Just
someone's got to do it.
Worst feeling in the world is playing that game for any amount of time, really.
Yeah. I feel like it just,
Even your microphone's like,
my mic's like, no.
Don't even care.
You shut up.
Screw that.
You're done. I don't know why I did that. That's awesome. Wow, this microphone has just given up hope. It's like, sir.
You good?
I think so.
You good?
I think
the struggle is real.
There has to be a certain number of like technical issues. Like last night when I didn't have mic audio, even though I did all my checks, and then I was like, "Yo, I gotta get back to streaming. I gotta practice."
I thought you were like the pro streamer.
I thought that was your jam. I was getting there, and then
you're crushing me. If I don't stream, then it's hard to.
Well, that is a part of it. Yeah, if you don't stream, people don't know to show up for a stream. So.
Weird,
weird horse carriage problem.
I know. Yeah, I've been bad.
Yeah,
I've had a lot of stuff to do.
There's been things going on. There's been a lot of things going on. So, maybe why don't you tell us a bit of like what has been going on?
Well, no, wait,
like, in grand detail.
No, what have you been doing? What we haven't done our like normal thing where it's like, what have you been playing this week?
Mass Effect Andromeda. And I tried a little bit of Destiny last night, and
it didn't work.
It just didn't work. I was gonna play some I played like 15 minutes of Battlefield 1 this week.
Battlefield 1 comes out Friday.
Yeah,
tonight.
I think it's tonight.
What? Is it? Oh, is it the split ship?
I can't remember
or the early.
I have the EA access right now.
So you probably have it now.
I just played a little bit of it at lunch today to do some checks on it, and the intro is phenomenal.
I'm just gonna play the single player.
The single player.
I'm terrible at Battlefield games.
Incredible.
I hate Battlefield multiplayer.
I love it.
Yep.
And this time I'm thinking I might actually play the campaign before.
Yeah.
I play the
for me,
which is just mind-boggling to me. I'm like Battlefield 3 and 4. I wanted to play the campaigns. I got about halfway through, and I'm like, no, I'm just gonna go back to multiplayer.
For me, it's all about those big set piece moments in the single player that I'm like, yes,
insane.
This is what I want.
Looks absolutely insane, and the intro alone if you have EA access or Origin access, go download it. I think it's 44 gigs on Xbox One. It was worth even just the 15 minutes of like introing to this. I'm like, holy shit, is this a great way to intro a game?
It's gonna be good.
So,
if you're not planning on picking it up, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, freedom isn't free.
It's gonna be. Yeah, it is. It is an expensive launch too. Well, most games are nowadays.
Yeah. But what have you been up to the past week?
Overwatch.
Overwatch.
A little bit of WoW.
I've heard about that one.
I was playing WoW for a bit. New expansion, so got a character to 110, which is the new level cap. I'm good now.
Yeah.
Probably just turn it off until the next one comes out.
Got your fix. You're
good. Like the game really opens up at 110. And there's like too many quests and just too much stuff. And I'm just like, I'm overwhelmed. I'll see you guys later, because I'm not super invested into it right now. But Overwatch, their Halloween event is awesome.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to really look into it, but I saw an email the other day that Blizzard's like, hey, go get your spooky packs or whatever. And I was like, okay.
So they did the same thing at
the
Olympics.
Yeah.
This is obviously, Olympics was like, we need to get something in now.
Yeah.
This feels like we planned this for a while.
Gotcha, okay.
So they took one of the maps, Hollywood, and turned it into like haunted horror nights, what they do in Hollywood. They, like, half the characters have skins. Like
That's
Mercy's on a broomstick and kind of stuff like that. Tons of new emotes, new victory poses where they're all gravestones and that kind of thing. And then the big thing is their brawl, and I almost wonder if this is what Titan would have been, is a 4 versus 1 boss fight.
Oh.
And so I kind of had a slight feeling of like, this is what, if Overwatch was what Titan was going to be, but then they changed everything, like that first person shooter MMO, it would have been awesome. So it's very tower defense. Like you and 3 other people play these 4 champions. You have to defend against a wall. Zombies run at it. If they touch it, they do damage to the wall, whatever. And then every now and then a boss spawns, like the Reaper, or Junkenstein, which is Junkrat but Frankenstein. Like so they've done all that kind of stuff. It's awesome.
So is it 4v1 like a player controlled enemy, or it's AI?
PvE?
Okay, fuck, I'm gonna have to play that now.
That's really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to play that.
It's really fun.
I'm really looking forward to like Gears of War 4 right now. I bought it. I meant to play it while I was in Austin. It just didn't.
Only had like a 65.
Yeah,
got crushed.
It's weird. The reviews early on sounded like it was like going to be very, very positive.
Yep.
And then I haven't looked at Metacritic.
I don't know why. Honestly. No, yeah, I checked it out because I was like, oh, Gears 4 is out. Obviously,
you
really
can play
good.
a PC and an Xbox. So yeah.
So I don't know.
I'll have to take a look. I've really fallen way behind on my like just gaming.
Keeping up.
Like,
well, that's the thing. It's like
it's been
earlier on. That's what we're talking about. Earlier on, you're looking at what's trending and what's getting really high scores and why they're getting high scores, and you pick up those games, and then it's hitting the point where it's like, I don't care anymore. We have our vision. We've done all the research we can. We've set all of the plans in motion, and now it's just about executing on our vision. And so you hit that, hopefully, a 95 or 100.
There's definitely a point where if you keep looking too much at other products, you run the risk of just copying rather than doing what's right for your product. And I absolutely agree with that. So
it's a fine balance.
Yeah. So we're...
where was it going with? You were saying Gears 4, and then I was like... Metacritic, and then you were like, oh, did you see that thing Rockstar tweeted?
Yes, that's another thing that's happened recently. So I think people actually were expecting this at E3.
I never played Red Dead, so I'm actually not super stoked.
I played a little bit of it. I definitely didn't finish it.
I don't have the hype built in.
I shouldn't say that. I did technically finish. I didn't do like the full playthrough. I definitely beelined it through a few areas, and I played it mostly at the time because it was coming as so highly recommended. And I'm like, I'm not usually a Western kind of guy, but I do like a lot of what Rockstar does. Although I never end up finishing any of the, I never end up doing any of the storylines of any GTA. I get like a third of the way through, and then I'm like, how many bad things can I do?
It's all about
this world, right?
Yeah, so, just the systems interacting.
Yeah. So
but people are super stoked about it. I never played it, so I don't have the hype. But I'm like, obviously, it's Rockstar.
Yeah.
They're coming off GTA 5. This is going to be really good.
Yeah, exactly. I think, you take that engine that they continuously perfect and you
put whatever at it.
Yeah, like a lot of people always say, like, oh, I don't want like one game reskinned as another game. And I've always said, for a lot of cases, absolutely. there are certain cases, like if they put GTA in space, I'd play it all over again.
Yeah.
You put it in a Western, lots of people seem like they'll play it all over again.
Bethesda.
I've always said like, Fallout.
Skyrim.
I've got Fallout 4.
Could even make the argument Dragon Age and Mass Effect. But you try to make them their own, even though you're using the same systems. Like Mass Effect is a very cinematic experience. Dragon Age is a very broad fantasy exploration kind of thing. So they have you still try to keep the IPs very separate. Fallout and Skyrim don't feel the same to me.
No.
Some people might think so, but I know, and it's like, this is the same loading screen. This is the same hack mechanic or whatever.
Yeah, I think for me,
I don't mind that.
I've always said like the one I would love to see is if you take Diablo, but you put the StarCraft universe on top of that. I'd play that.
Yeah,
in a heartbeat.
Yep.
Like I'd buy it twice, for sure.
Yep.
Probably 3 times.
I bought GTA 5 3 times.
Yeah, I technically own it on Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS4. I don't think I picked it up on PC.
No, I didn't pick it up on PC. I own it twice.
Yeah.
They made me buy it twice. But the first person mode's so cool. What they added, right? Like, I was just like, this is great.
I keep telling myself I want to play it online and do like the heists and stuff like that, because it's kind of got that idea that it sounds like it's almost like raid level content.
Yep.
And I'm always thinking of like, I'm not as hardcore raid as like you guys and you play WoW. Like for me, I think of like raids as like what's in Destiny, 6 players.
Oh
so,
yeah.
So like I don't have like 30-man experience, but
WoW does it with the 10, which is a really good balance. But they have the 25s, I think, now too.
Yeah. So.
Or have had for a long time.
Yeah. So. All right, so we covered a bit of the news. I think the meat and potatoes of this week is going to be like, what have we been up to?
What'd you do?
So like beyond like
you did fun stuff.
Yeah, it's been a while since.
So you went to what we're streaming on Twitch there, Billy.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
So again, going back to like the discovery of like when I came downstairs and booted everything up, and I was like, oh my god, it's been since Tampa. So I went to Tampa.
Yep, DestinyCon.
For DestinyCon. That was a great experience. And then shortly after, about a month almost exactly after that, came back, did a bit of work, did a bunch of work for DestinyCon was actually right at the end of like my parental leave, so there's a lot of time off work.
Right.
Well, came back for a few weeks, went right back out to TwitchCon. That was a ton of
people
fun.
Like, Billy, do you even work here anymore?
I don't think I do anymore, because I just sent them an email today saying
I know you're like going on vacation.
But these were things I booked ages ago before we knew certain things that were going to happen. And so I never believe me. Honestly, it's just terrible. But I went to TwitchCon. That was a lot of fun. Met a lot of great folks. Met the Dynamic Gamer. Met Kaylee Kez.
Did they have panels and stuff?
Yeah, I went to a bunch of panels. There's one thing I definitely noticed that I feel like I didn't buy, like when we bought our tickets, we didn't buy the developer pass, right? Because we were like uncertain if we were going to end up getting a ticket through the studio, or if we're going to go on our own. But I was like, I'm getting impatient. I don't want to wait and find out that we can't get something. So I bought a basic pass right out of the gate and said, okay, if something happens where we exchange, so be it. But the more we got closer to the event, I was just like, I want to go as a streamer, not as a staff member. And once I got there, it became apparently like immediately evident that the only panels I gave any like even remote care about, like the fraction of a fraction, was all the developer stuff.
Oh, and you couldn't get into it?
All the stuff that was not developer was like really kind of fluff. And it's not, I don't blame anyone in particular. It's just, I think the optics of like what you're looking for, I think the fluff kind of stuff is exactly what a lot of streamers were looking for. They just want to see their favorite streamers. And even if you're not a streamer, if you're just there because you like streamers or you like certain channels, you were there to see your favorite streamers talk about random stuff that they enjoy or that they've had good experiences doing. For me, as a growing streamer and a developer, like all the like
developer that leverages Twitch is what, because Dragons Donuts, everything
exactly right, like all that stuff, like the technical back end of like how to improve visibility or how to reach out to streamers in a way that's not condescending or seen as like the creepy, like get your hands all over this thing that you don't really belong to. I definitely caught a bit of that. There were a few developers out there that did really well. I saw some really great talks from them. I definitely snuck into a few panels I probably wasn't meant to.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I
didn't hear nothing.
No, but they weren't really gating it a whole lot. Like if you walked in 2 minutes after the door, they didn't even look at your badge. So there's definitely growing pains for them, but overall, good show.
For them, it felt like from an outsider's perspective, they didn't know what they were, because I didn't go. Cause life stuff picked up, but it actually it was work stuff.
It was work stuff for you, I think.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It looked like they don't know what they are yet, what they want that con to be.
That is exactly the problem.
There's a lot of, Twitch celebrity trying to push that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Versus, is it a rave party? Why is Steve Aoki here? Versus, are you there to meet streamers? Are streamers there to meet each other to network? Or is it developers trying to push product like XSplit or what? They need to, I think, nail down their vision a bit more as a con.
Yes.
Instead of just being like it's a Twitch party.
That's the thing is, like, if you go to like PAX usually on the Friday night, there's a Twitch party, right? And it's the Twitch streamers and it's other folks, VIPs and stuff. And then, like, there's the VIPs and then there's like the VIPs, which is the partner streamers. That's actually something Connell and I spoke about quite a bit while we were there. Is that there was this weird feeling of like they weren't quite certain of the identity yet, of like it's part trade show of like, meet these other partners, meet these other groups, or partnerships that are happening in terms of like hardware and sponsors and things like that. And there's all that, and then there was like a focus on like meet and greets, and that made sense too. Okay, but then there's also like there's events going on too and panels, and so it's like it's trying to be PAX, E3, and GDC almost all in one.
Yeah.
And I think
it's too much.
It's probably a little spread too thin. Or I think what they may have to do is something like what GDC and PAX are doing now, which is one day in advance is like all the like super technical bits. And then the secondary, like the main days are kind of more open to everybody else.
Yeah, because there's PAX Dev
a little
now,
bit more
right?
flood. Yeah, exactly. PAX Dev is a thing that happens like on a Monday, Tuesday prior to like the rest of the week going on, right? So
I think PAX is a very defined con. Yes. I know exactly what I'm getting when I go there.
I think that's the thing that they'll figure out over the next year or two. This is kind of like, this was year 2 for them, but it also felt like year 1, because year 1 was like,
this is the Amazon money now.
Yeah, and there's also year 1 was just kind of like, let's just try this and see what happens. Like let's throw a line out there and see what bites. And it was in San Fran. It was local. It was at Moscone, right? Not too far from where they're headquartered. This time it had all the weird. It's down in San Diego, so like talking to folks like Lady and Sandy, I can only imagine like the headaches they had from like trying to accomplish some of these things from their offices in San Francisco, but knowing it's going to be down in San Diego. People think it's all in California, but it's literally northern and southern, like almost the two extremes of it.
It's super far.
So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Met peoples.
Yeah, I met a lot of great folks. Had a lot of great talks. A lot of great fun.
Great tacos.
Lots of good food. Yeah, lots of great nights.
Did I not hook you up?
Yes,
I hooked you up.
We went to
hooked you up.
La Puerta. Tacos. We went there like 3 times, and
I know
it was
tacos.
Amazing. It was amazing. And then after that, just came back home and then did the thing. I'm trying to think, because it was TwitchCon. Sorry, it was DestinyCon, TwitchCon. Then I was just in Austin for a week for work, and now I'm about to go to Winnipeg for nearly a week. But while I was doing all this, like we were like trading in and out of the studio, right? Because I came back, and then you're like, "Yo, I'm heading out, but I'm not going to TwitchCon anymore." I'm like, "Wait. What? Back the truck up. Where are you going?" And
I went to Arkansas.
You went to a lot of places.
I went to Minnesota. I went to Dallas. I went to Houston. I think that's it. No, there was one more.
Texas is big.
I don't know. There was a bunch of places. Yeah, I can't really talk about what I did.
Tell us the secrets.
Yeah, no.
Tell us the secrets.
But it was like a very specific. Oh, how do you say this without saying anything? I had to present the vision of the game to certain people. So it was taking the vision deck from Mac, obviously, his vision for the game, and then making all my own notes to be able to have these talking points. Got a bunch of videos together to present. Went down with a bunch of people from EA and traveled around and talked about the vision of the game and our plans and why it's awesome and why it's better than previous Mass Effects and everything's going to be amazing about it. It's all these things. And get people kind of hyped and do there's a lot of work stuff, but it was very interesting. I could probably say this because this isn't anything, but it was very interesting to see the EA machine start up for when you start to ship.
Yeah.
And the power that this publisher has when all the arms start being like, okay, this is the next thing going out, so let's get all the machines start turning on, and you start to see the power of the publishers. It's pretty cool. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So it was a great trip. I saw cities I've never been to, met a ton of awesome people that work for EA. Everybody was super nice and wonderful. The towns were great. Food was great. The hotels were cool. It was a great experience as a producer. I think for a producer, I would always say yes if somebody in a studio ever asked you to travel. If they're like, hey, do you want to go do this thing for blah? Yeah. Just be like, yep. And you will learn skills. Yeah. You didn't know you had, or you find things you need to figure out. Like the big thing I had learned, I'd never presented a deck on that scale before, and the amount of work it took to. My dad always said when you're doing a presentation, it's about 1 minute for 1 minute of presentation, it's about an hour of prep. So extrapolate that for a 30-minute presentation and get about how much time I put into my notes and trying to talk through max points and make sure I'm hitting the right things that we want said about the game, all the truth and all the everything being awesome, and also having the knowledge and expertise when people ask questions, you can answer them without making stuff up, which gets you in a lot of trouble. Here's my advice for that on that end is just be like, I don't know the answer for that, but I can get that to you. Yeah, like I can go. I'll take that back to the studio.
True producer speak, right?
I got asked a bunch of questions about whatever your team's working on, and I was like, no, that's Billy's my counterpart, and I'll get him to grab that info for you when I go back to the studio. Right?
I haven't seen that email yet, though. So.
It's gonna tell you about it tomorrow. Monday, yeah. I'm gonna tell you about it tomorrow. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah, it is Monday, right? Jeez. Okay.
So no, working on presentations, I definitely feel like I leveled up in my skill set. I was sitting on the back of the plane talking through a presentation. Everybody probably thought I was crazy, but I was like talking out loud because you think you're practicing talking in your head.
No, you got to actually say it out.
Unbelievably different speaking it out loud.
Yeah. Mike Gamble, Scylla Acosta, Benoit Houle, they all used to tell me, like, if you're going to go do an interview, you better be practicing in front of a mirror.
Yep.
And you better be doing it out loud.
Yep.
And you got to get over that fear of, like, I'm stupidly talking in front of a mirror. And I still remember the first time my wife kind of walked around the corner. She's like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "This is how I practice, right?" Like, and now I've actually gotten to the point of, like, I don't even do it in front of a mirror. I do it in front of this. Like, I do it in front of my setup, and I watch it afterwards. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I mumble a lot. I gotta fix that." So
I mumble a lot, or I found in some of the dry presentations we were doing with the team I was there before we did the actual real thing, I would get lost in a train of thought that wouldn't end anywhere.
Yeah.
Good. So and I'm just like, oh, well, this sentence just kind of fizzled away and went away. Holy size 16s with the host. Thank you so much, sir. For people listening to the podcast live, we do this live on Twitch on Mondays, so you should also watch it live and be part of the chat and interact.
Indeed.
Yeah, no, everybody joining. I'm TheFiddzz. This is Ehlien. We're talking about video games, game industry. We're just talking about doing live presentations for, I guess, interviews or something like, all those people that get up, like the Aarons and the Peter Moores and all that kind of stuff at the VGAs and at PAXs and all this kind of thing, doing those presentations. They're practicing the hell out of those before they go up on stage, even though they have only like 2 sentences or whatever.
And that's why we were talking about this when we did the E3 live cast, right? Where you're like, oh my god, it's like such a rehearsed conversation. I'm like, of course it is. If you don't rehearse that conversation, that goes in a ball of fire and it craters on stage.
And even the stuff they rehearse. What was the one? Oh, there was a bad one, and I don't know if it was rehearsed or if it wasn't, but it was Killer Instinct.
Oh,
at
yes.
Xbox, or it was at some presentation.
It was at the Xbox One E3 presentation, I think the year they
2015,
were going live.
2014, something like that. And yeah, the guy just said something
He's trying to trash talk.
They were trying to do trash talk, and I think it wasn't written. And so they were trying to be, or if it was
like
written, then
gamer
it was,
dudes.
yeah, they were trying to be gamer bros.
Yeah.
But one of the other player was a girl, and he was just like,
the comment made was not the best.
No, it was
in any shape or form.
Nothing.
And it felt really bad because actually the woman you're speaking of, who was on stage, I've followed and chatted with her on Twitter for years now. A big fan. I think she's working with Call of Duty now.
Cool.
And yeah, I think everyone was just like, did he just say
he did
those words? And everyone's like, he did. He did say.
He said it.
God, he
you
said
could
the words.
feel the audible gasp.
Yeah, like,
in the auditorium.
Shit, that was like the moment of like that slipped out. That was not meant to happen.
So and even the best presentation ones, the ones that are planned, very well rehearsed, can come across like just awful. What was the year at? It's not a game con, but it's a software convention, and Microsoft usually does the keynote. But this one time, like Qualcomm did the keynote or something.
Oh,
and it was those three, CS, and those three people came out actors, and they were the, we're Generation Millennial or Generation Next, and it was the most embarrassing situation I've ever witnessed.
Yeah.
Wait, no, what's the other one?
I always love when they do like interpretive dance to like reveal something. You're like, no one likes this. Not a single person.
There was a dance one. There was a Japanese dance game. And they revealed it at, I think it was at like an E3, but like 10 years ago or something. That was awful.
Are you talking about the Just Dance one?
I think it might have been.
Ubi had one that was a little weird one year.
I can't remember.
Konami had one that was especially awkward a few years ago.
I'm going back and I'm watching these because they're just they're that kind of cringe that you're just like, oh, you start to you feel bad being a part of it or watching it. Anyways, we'll stop trash talking. It's not trash talking. It's just like a lesson learned.
Yeah, there's certain things you kind of
you need to be
out.
You need to be very prepared. Yes, the Konami one. That's what it was.
That's the one it was. It was very awkward.
Awful.
And the problem was just like, for a lot of those folks, it was not English is not their first language.
No.
And so it almost felt like something was being lost in translation, but no one really called them and said like, guys, this is not translating very well.
Yeah.
This is not representing what you think it represents.
It's the thing too. So the presentation in front of a mirror.
Yeah.
You have to do that when you're just at home at night trying to go through it, but you should also definitely like I presented the thing to Mike before I went down to get feedback, and then every time I did a dry run with the team I was with, I was like, "Okay, feedback, give me more notes. I can throw these into my slides like after each time." And by the last presentation, it was baller. And I left, I was just like,
Mike down.
We're
shipping this shit.
We're
shipping this.
Get hyped.
Yeah.
And then I got on a plane. I was just like, woo, and I was out of there.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad that we're all linking.
There we go. Now
to these things.
So there's that's what we're talking about.
It was not good.
No,
like
it wasn't.
It should not have happened that way. Right.
So there's your producer tip for the week.
Yeah.
Practice your goddamn presentation.
Well, and that's the thing. Like that's true of a presentation. It's true of your game. You got to know your shit, right? Like, if someone knows that you're just
riffing,
like if you're just riffing, or if you're just reading off the lines that have been told to you to say, it shows up immediately.
Or if you're just, people have a great sense of this is bullshit.
Yeah. If you have like 5 buzzwords in one sentence, people are like, oh god,
you're just
stop.
you're just a robot.
Stop, please.
Or
now.
You're making it up. Or, that's it. It's why I don't get hyped on a lot of games, because I'll watch a presentation and I'll just listen to the person speaking about it, and it's whatever. It's a marketing person, or it's a producer, or it's a lead game designer. It doesn't matter who it is, but I can what's the word? My bullshit detector is usually pretty high.
Ringing up the storm, right?
Because I know the things they're saying.
Yeah.
Because I know to not say those things, so I can read it really well.
But I can say you guys one thing. So much like you were out hyping folks.
I was hyping.
We actually took the deck you were using, and we
stole my deck.
We did it. We used it for another purpose.
Did you take my notes? You didn't even take my notes, did you?
I don't think
Didn't
we
even
did.
care.
No,
We
just let them. We
What
showed
is
a
it
bunch
without
of
the notes?
we showed a bunch of videos, and that seemed to cover it.
Without me there, it's,
but
smooth talking.
it was really. I feel like Connell's watching and telling me to bring my hands up.
I need my cup.
I know.
Lost that cup.
I feel like we've lost our magic here.
Pretty sad.
But
we're back. The magic's back, Billy.
It's come back, baby. It's come back. But yeah, we took the deck, and we Fernando and I had to do a presentation to a totally different group, and a group I've never been able to do a presentation for, but always thought it probably should happen. And so there's a group down in Austin. It's not like a spoiler or anything. There's what they call WWCE, which is the Worldwide Customer Experience.
Oh yeah, that's what.
And so we were able to present the Vision deck and another deck of the super secret thing to them. And that was the thing that totally made the week for me, and which is already coming off of a super crazy fun hype week. Like that Austin trip might be one of my highlights of my career right now, and that's saying something. But I remember going down there, and we had one purpose initially, and then we said, okay, like let's extend it to a whole week and let's cover all our bases.
Yeah, let's hit.
I don't want to have to travel down here 3 more times. I want to do this and cover.
Not
our
that
bases,
we don't
right?
love Austin.
No,
the travel starts to wear on you.
26 degrees Celsius, whereas here I drove.
It snowed
through a blizzard.
when I left.
Yeah.
And I landed in like 80% humidity. I was like, this is great.
Yeah, I drove through a blizzard to get to the airport to get to Austin, but
awful.
So we get down there. We had a couple days where we did a whole bunch of testing. Like I said, I played the game for like 2 days straight. It was incredible, and that was such a good experience. It gave us a ton of notes of like things that we now have to focus on.
Yep.
To tighten everything up and get ready to go. Get ready for, obviously there's some event coming up in like a couple weeks probably. I don't know.
November 8th.
Something. Probably November 8th.
Big day.
No, it's no. Day. Isn't it? Remember the 5th of November? Isn't that?
That's what it is.
That's what it is. Okay, cool. So it's that.
It's Remembrance Day.
It's totally Remembrance Day.
Is that November?
That's Remembrance Day in America.
November 11th.
Yeah, that sounds right. Remembrance Day.
That does sound, because it's 11 o'clock for 1 minute.
Yeah.
Moment of silence.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyways,
I
think
so
one
all
of those
those
days.
things. Yeah,
all
those things. So
8 or 11.
So we're getting all ready for that.
Something might happen.
Yeah, we're getting ready for all that, and we do the thing in the beginning of the week, and then we got a bunch of other meetings, talk about other stuff with the group that's working down in Austin. For those who haven't heard before, yes, the studios, all 3 studios are active in MEA right now.
Yep.
And but so at the end of the trip on the Friday afternoon, WWCE is like, hey, do you mind showing us like what the game is? And we said, yeah, that's a great idea, because ultimately we're gonna have to like send them a whole bunch of notes to get ready, right?
Yeah, prep them first.
And to be able to show them, that was a lot of fun. But the thing that really nailed it for me, I had a bit of a moment with this where we did a bit of a mini presentation of sorts in Montreal a while back, and even before that I was like in Edmonton. We did another presentation for a smaller group, and like every time you show the game to someone that's not part of the studio team, you have this quick moment, and I get like chills down my spine every time. It's like, holy fuck, this is what we're building, and it's fucking cool.
I wanted to touch on that when you started talking.
Yeah, and the thing that really hit for me was we showed a series of videos in a presentation deck, like I said, is the one that you used. Did
you do the videos first or after?
We led off with one of the videos from an internal meeting.
Mm-hmm. And then you did the deck, and then you did the other ones.
And then we did a couple other, and it was like kind of covered a whole bunch of things. And when we kicked off that,
we're just trying to talk around stuff.
Yeah,
but we know what we're talking about.
Exactly. But I think you know what the video I'm talking about.
Yep.
The one that would set the stage for everything, right? And we ran that video, and the first time I watched it at my desk, I'm like, okay, this is really come a long way. I hadn't seen it since. Huge. Yeah, but then I saw the one. Maybe it's not the one you're thinking of. It's
maybe
the one that like literally sets the stage.
Oh yeah.
So that happens,
That's
and like we're showing this in front of a room of, I think it was like 100 and something people. They said 110 people. There was a few empty seats just because like they were like coming off the call center.
Did not know that.
This, and so we did 2 sessions of this. That's and the first time we did this, we're sitting like in their giant cafeteria area, like their presentation area, and we're doing this, and the video starts rolling. And we go, hey, I'm Billy, I'm Fernando, and like we say what we're doing and what we're up to. And we go, guys, we're gonna get you caught up on what Andromeda is. Let's take a look at this video, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of it. And there was cheers. Like the whole place erupted, and like I remember the first moment that the video kicked off, and I'm like, and I was like, I could feel it in my throat. I was
that
like,
VO.
yeah, it fucking nails it. I'm gonna say it. It fucking nails it.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, I was like, okay, I gotta like clear the throat in time for getting back on the mic here, because it was that moment where you're just like, holy shit, it's real. This is it. It's becoming real, and we're getting to that point.
The thing I know, what's great about trips like this, you're so heads down with the team, and you're so close to the content.
Yeah.
All you see is the flaws, because that's what you're pretty much at this point in the project programmed to look at bugs, make quality calls based on time and people left. What was great about disconnecting, although I still had email, but I wasn't like with the team. I wasn't going through the daily grind. It was a different grind, but sitting down and presenting the whole vision, because we're pretty focused as to what our ownership is on these very specific parts of the game. And so being able to pull out and get this broad look at the game and then present that to people and watch their reactions. I remember somebody sitting across from me at the table. And so you try to make eye contact with everybody, and some people are like looking at you, but then they're looking at the deck, and this guy was just like locked into my eyes the whole time, and he was just like the biggest grin on his face. And I was like,
is this Black Shelton?
Exactly. And it was just like, he is jacked on what we're talking about and what we're presenting. And so you see those things, and you step back and you see some of the videos, and it's like, wow, these videos touch on parts of the game that I haven't seen in like 6 months because I'm focused on my thing. And I'm like, that looks fucking great. This is so it's feeling very good at this point in the project.
I was saying last night, like I don't talk a lot about what we do day over day and work in like just the usual streams when we're not doing this, right? But having had that whole week out in Austin and seeing the team that's working there, work with a lot of the folks there, there's a whole group that builds an entire part of our technology pipeline just for what we do. And I gotta say, like, that was a ton of fun. But again, like you said, it was like seeing the things I haven't seen in a while. Because I am so heads down on what we're doing.
Everybody is.
I think that it's true of everyone.
That's why you have different levels of producers, right?
Yes, exactly. And I think it was pretty mind blowing. I guess I was telling the wife, not about like what the content was, but just like the experience. I was like, holy, like I've never had that moment before in a shipping product, because I've always been so focused down on what I'm doing, and then we demo whatever we're doing. But I've never had to be able to demo or present someone else's stuff.
That's what I enjoyed about it too. And because I had to learn a lot about the other parts of the game and how deep these other systems are going, and these other parts of it. Like Max said this at New York Comic Con. It's just like a small thing, but it's the least written follower in Andromeda has 20% more lines than the most written follower in ME3. And it just shows you how deep these characters are going to be. I think it's going to be our most memorable cast. People think they love Liara. Get ready for some of the ones coming.
Absolutely.
It's going to be great.
I started a playthrough again recently just because of this, like because of the whole experience, and I gotta keep working on it throughout the week. And it's changed so much in the few months since the last time I went and did like a pretty complete playthrough. But the thing that really threw me and impressed me was just, again, I was playing it the other day for I basically know our game. I basically played it for like 24 hours roughly over the course of 48 hours, or less than 48 hours. I played 24 hours of those hours were playing the game. And we took quick breaks for lunches and stuff like that, but it was like quick breaks and right back at it, right? Like we were trying to get a lot of work done there. And I remember coming out of that going like, and to your point, like the whole purpose of that was like take a ton of notes of like what are the things we got to fix still, what are the things we're gonna have to live with, what are and making those priority calls. And I've got like a stack this thick of paper of notes that we took. It's absolutely insane. But I came out of it, and then so I was down there with a couple of folks, and on Thursday night I was not feeling well. On Wednesday night we went out and had a few had meal and
couple
drinks.
wobbly pops.
I only had two, but I was like, I really feel like I haven't hit my full saturation of tacos for being down in Austin, and so I ordered room service tacos, and like not even 4 hours later, I was like deadly ill.
No,
like I was just
mistakes.
Like, my brain was like on the floor. It was terrible.
Mistakes
I felt
were just made.
Awful. And I was like, how did you get drunk? I'm like, I did not get drunk. I can assure you that. I had like one with supper, like one beer with supper, and one more afterwards. Like I was certainly not drunk, and I was just like demolished.
Drunk on the game.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, like, after all that, I barely almost didn't make it in on Thursday. I had a lot of meetings, so I was like, I soldiered through it. Gatorade and the works, right? But then by the time we got to dinner, we all went for sushi, which is just the greatest thing when you're
that was a great idea.
Upset stomach. But all of us were like, so do you want to go like keep going on your playthrough?
Yep.
And all of us were like totally, but like the playthrough, or sorry, the studio is now quite a ways away from the hotel. So
actually thinking of a nice topic we could talk about next week would be when we get to the end of a project, how meetings change and how the note taking goes, and it's more of like just sitting at the desk playing, and you have a QA, and it's like, this is a bug, make sure you write this down, and then you go back to the design team or whoever and be like, hey, here's our hit list, let's go do this and move forward and get another build, and blah blah. How you really start to get the iteration of game development done. But we can talk about that.
Yeah, and actually
that's another topic as a whole.
If anyone wants to know how busy the team is right now, so today we usually do a playtest where we look at our areas and we take our notes over. Today QA was so busy they could not attend, and I was like, well, QA we got to take our own notes.
Absolutely hammered right now.
So they're very busy. But it's something, and if there's one thing I can like leave a thought on for where we are. We still have a number of months to finish this thing, right? I think it's well documented now that we're in next year. There's gonna be probably some news on November something.
November 6.5.
Something like that.
I think November 6.5.
One of those days in the next month we'll talk about some stuff. I think probably not.
And 6.75.
Something like that. Yeah,
that might be.
It's like pi or something.
You might want to set your clocks.
Maybe do something
for November.
But anyway, yeah, like so usually we get to a certain point in the project, and then like I've always said, the Bioware projects tend to come together X amount of time before launch. And there's this running joke that it's 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's not technically
like 6 months.
It's not 6 weeks.
4 months,
it's like
6 months.
6 weeks before cert lockdown.
Yeah.
Usually, right? So factor in, you're probably looking at 3.5 months.
I equate it to Bioware game development is a hockey stick.
Mm-hmm. I know where you're stealing this from. But
I've taken it from something else, but I think it applies to this.
Yep.
Whereas something like I think a Battlefield or Call of Duty is very.
It's probably linear, more linear.
It's like they build a vertical slice.
Yeah.
With they'll only have one gun, but that gun will be super tight.
Yep.
The visuals will be in that level already. The level will be great, and they're just like, okay, cool. We have all the tools. Now we just need to go build out the content. Yeah. With us, I think we build a very broad. Yes. We have to build the whole game at once, because the story has to make sense.
Yes.
And do the system make sense? And there's so much interactivity between how big our games are. It's like these quests, and when does this unlock, and when do these things come onto play, and all that kind of stuff has to get figured out early, and then we start to layer it on. And then right at the end of the project, it's like, and here comes all the content. And it just starts flooding, and like all the art assets come in, and all the VFX.
And it gets
crazy.
We could definitely do an entire episode on that, because I've always said, like, I like the idea of having one that goes to vertical slice, but you still have to have everything there.
For us, it's
shallow.
Yeah,
right?
for us,
like
it's almost
shallow,
like,
and then you have one that goes deep, right?
I think a Bioware project is like this. Boop.
Yes, that's exactly it. Like, that's exactly it. You have
it's a hockey stick with a spike in the middle,
like a grip or something.
Yep.
Yeah, but
we can get some kind of analogy going.
We'll figure something out there. But yeah, I absolutely know what you mean, and I think, but where I was kind of coming from in this is that, like, every game we get to that point, and then you finally go, oh, it's coming together.
Yep.
Whether it's because you've been head down on what you've been focused on, or whatever else.
But you start to see the other stuff coming in.
All the things come together. It's all starting to connect, and you're like, the connective tissue is starting to, like, you know, the arm and the torso are finally connected, right? And it makes sense, and you're like, cool. And so that usually happens for me. I think the earliest it ever happened for me of like going like, it's really hitting its stride. The earliest one that's ever happened for me was probably ME3. ME2 had its own challenges. ME3 obviously had challenges too. ME1 had a lot of challenges. DAI had its own challenges. All of these games have their own challenges. MEA has its set of two, right? But we are further out from launch now
than we have been,
than we've ever been. Where
we're starting to feel like it's
this
coming
past
together.
week, I was like, "Fuck yes!" and I wanted to play more of it. Yep. And that has not happened this soon ever before.
No,
so,
DEI
and don't get me
definitely
wrong,
closer.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, about a month ago, I was kind of going like, guys, like,
yeah,
we gotta fucking wrap this up. We gotta figure this shit out and get it done.
And that's the producer feeling starting to the switch in being a producer starts to click over and. And you start making calls, and then things start to come in. You get strike teams assembled, and really double down on where you want to spend the quality.
Yeah.
And it's part of the process. I'm not worried at all.
No, I have a certain it's not a worry. It's more of it is almost like more of the paternal instinct that I jokingly think I lack with my children. But I think the funny thing is, going back to that dinner we were having on Thursday, so it was myself, our lead designer for the function and the stuff that we're working on, and another producer, and we kind of like co-own some of the areas that we're working on. And we have our moments where we're like, we come from 3 different backgrounds, and we have 3 different ideas of like how something might come together. And that can cause problems for ourselves and the team, but generally we all come together and go, okay, like this is where we're headed, and we go, cool. And once we have those moments, we're great. And recently we've been having a lot of these discussions of like, I think it's this, and I think it's this, and I think it's this. But we always do it like away from the team, so it's like it hopefully doesn't hit the team of like, okay, like the 3-headed Hydra doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. But the fun part was, after playing the game as much as we were on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then having that dinner on Thursday, we were all like, do you guys realize that we're still this far out, and we're going like, let's go finish dinner so we can go play the game? Do you remember the last time you tried to do that this early in the production?
Yep.
And I was like, no, I in my entire 11 plus year career, I've not had that moment.
So this episode of Producer Hacks has been brought to you by how awesome Mass Effect Andromeda is going to be.
Yes, go buy it now.
I'm just getting really hyped.
Yes, I think that's the thing.
Now
that's very,
which is cool,
very rare.
For your own game, you don't
not get as hyped.
I'm so excited for that thing that's happening in November on that day that I don't know which day it is.
Or someday, probably.
I really look forward to the reactions. I think people are going to be.
I think so.
Fucking blown away.
I think there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff.
I don't know. I think we're about at an hour. I don't have anything else to talk about.
No, I want to play some Battlefield. You gotta get out of my house.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for coming back.
Yeah, thanks for saying.
We know we've been away for a while and been a bit of a hiatus.
We'll get the schedule going back again. That was just a lot of travel in a month for us.
It was,
and I don't think we have much lined up travel wise.
Well, I've got my just like a family.
Your personal
trip.
one, no, but I'm just thinking of
work. I'm hoping to not do any more work related trip. Although I did hear the word Montreal. Mentioned today.
I see myself doing what I did on Dragon Age in a few months.
Just locking yourself in a room. Oh no, the opposite of locking yourself in a room. Locking yourself in hotel rooms around the world. Yeah.
So I see that coming in. We've missed all your faces too. Well, me more so. Billy's been around.
Yeah, kind of.
He's old hat.
I don't even know.
It's all about me.
Yeah. Guys, make sure you're following TheFiddzz here.
Give me lots of music on the stream.
I think there's still commands. I think.
Question there, Billy.
Yeah.
Are you streaming this week? Are you streaming tonight? What are you doing?
I may try to stream tonight.
Hey.
There you go. Originally, I was thinking I would. We started a little late because I had to figure out all the tech stuff.
I had to get off work.
Yeah. That's the thing is I know I'm working very late tomorrow and Wednesday before I travel. No promises.
Yeah, no
promises. I would love to, but I also need
I gotta boost the internet at the drum house and then get all the new gear set up, and it'll be great. So, anyways, thanks everybody for checking us out. I don't know. I think we'll just leave it at that, Bill.
Yeah, let's wrap up here.
We're just hyping MEA is what we did for this.
Exactly.
We talked a little bit about production.
Some stuff. Some things.
Send us some questions for next week.
Yeah.
And we'll Well, first of all, we'll try to stream because Billy will be away, so that one's still up in the air.
This will be a first, I think, where I'm gonna probably have to like Skype in. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I don't know how good that's gonna go, but yes, thanks for checking it out. Really love the support. We'll see you all. Well, you'll see them a lot sooner than I will.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, probably. We'll see.
I have to pass out too. I'm exhausted.
Yes, I think I'm going to do the same. I got homework to do tonight still. Still got so much.
All right.
So.
Have a great time.
All right.
Everybody.
Yes. Take care, folks. I'm going to keep smashing into this mic until we.
Wait, no. We stop the podcast and then we do the other thing.
We'll do the thing. All right. Thanks, folks. Peace.
Podcast out.